We chat to an author about her book or his book, and this Sunday we've invited Mandisa Mndela about her book, two books in fact. One is titled Stand, which is called 7 Letters and 7 Years, and then the other one, the upcoming one, The Dawn and All About Stand Your Truth. I see it there on her Facebook page. She's promoted the two books, so there she is. She's here this morning. Tell us more about the two books. Mandisa, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
Let's talk about first 7 Letters and 7 Years. Brief synopsis about what the book is about.
7 Letters, 7 Years, it's an insight into my young adulthood life. As because Stand is the insight on my teenage life.
Yeah.
So I talk more about on 7 Letters, 7 Years about the things that come to light when you reach that stage of adulthood life, when you get into a corporate world, when you're starting to do a work, or that's being a mother. That's the things that are inside in that book. I'm talking more about my young adulthood life.
What is with the number 7? I read somewhere as well that the other book was going to come out in the 7th month. There's something about the number 7. You're very right. There's been something with the number 7 with me that you'll have noticed that, and the 7 Letters, 7 Years is the 7 years of realizing, because each year I would come up with such a revelation and like, oh, this is what happens when you're a young adult. So it took me 7 years to really settle into the young adult life. Why is it important for you to have this conversation and for your readers to get insight into who this person was and this young person coming into adulthood?
Taking from my experiences from I grew up, which is very detailed and Stand, I felt that I couldn't just have this nice, juicy story and it ends there. And I thought about my children. And I honestly didn't want them to go through the same things that I went through. And the reason I'm taking people inside that story, it's because it's my point of departure to the curriculum that I've written. Because I'm saying we cannot, otherwise we've failed our children if we're going to leave for them to relive what we lived.
How do we change the mindsets of what you've just spoken about, that we can't allow our kids to relive what we've lived or what you've lived?
How do we?
How do we change that? How do we begin changing that? Your book is obviously the start of that.
That's why I'm inviting us to get into the conversation, because I don't have all the answers. And I'm saying, let's come together, let us converse and let us talk about these things, because we grew up at a time where our parents wouldn't even explain anything to us. And I'm saying, sometimes with an explanation of something that somebody else is going through, you can have your own solution to your own situation. So that's why I'm calling the Imbizo. That's why I'm asking people, let's come, let's talk.
Yeah. And the Dawn and All About Stand Your Truth. I mean, that is a powerful title there.
The Dawn is my third title, which is coming up next year. That really touches on my adult life. Yeah. Because, as I said, Stand is my teenage life. Right. 7 Letters, 7 Years is my young adulthood life. And The Dawn is my adulthood life. So these are the 3 stages I think every person will have to go through.
As you look at it now, and all this material has come together and it's given birth to 3 books, what would you say to your 16-year-old self when you look at it now and you've put all this into perspective?
I love that girl.
Yeah.
I love that girl, and I love what she went through, because without those experiences, I wouldn't even be able to come up with this. And what really touches me is the young people that I'm engaged with, the difference that I've made in their lives. It's really, really humbling.
What is the best compliment that you've received about your work so far?
Oh, there's so many. Like, you're my hero. Yeah. Someone said you're my new hero, and someone said, with your response, I've kept it as a memento. I've put in there. I always go back and read what you told me. It's just been a lot. It's like, oh really? And sometimes you sit and think, and you're like, Oh, because it comes naturally. Sometimes you don't even realize that you really make that appeal until somebody comes back to you and tell you that.
And those reactions and compliments, do they then reassure the writer that is Mandisa, say, okay, maybe this was the right decision?
Definitely.
To pin it down? Yeah.
Definitely they do, and more, as I mentioned, more on the curriculum, and because sometimes when you write something, you want it to be tested to make sure that it really it is relevant. That really gets me excited.
And
yes.
What's the highlight of embarking on this journey? What have you learned about yourself that you wouldn't have necessarily known 2-3 years ago?
I never knew that I'm this calm person. Yeah. People also tell me, this calm, and I'm thinking, you don't know what's going on inside. And I think what really touches me is when people come back to me and say, you said this, and it really helped into my life. You are such an inspiration. I think that really, really touches me.
All right, Mandisa, thank you so much for spending the morning with us.
Thank you so much.
Mandisa Mndela, her other book is coming out. It's called The Dawn, yes. And it starts with 7 letters and 7 years, and then the one in the middle is Stand Your Truth, and she was an author this morning. Let's take an air break. Stay with us.